as a throws coach, how can we manage the weight room? How can we manage athletes in the weight room and just getting lifts done? I think the big factor I want to start off with is that as a throws coach at the junior high level or at the high school level, okay, let's pretend the NCAA's out of the professional levels out of it. We're just talking junior high, high school. If we have a gym that has a barbell and weights, we're golden. We're golden, okay? If we don't have access to that, we have bands, we can get med balls, dumbbells, body weight. If we don't have dumbbells, if we don't have med balls, try to pick up some bands. If you don't have bands, you got body weight. Okay, if you have a body weight, you can do plyometrics, you can do body weight stuff like dips, push-ups, pull-ups, jumps, bounds, jump lunges, sprints, backward sprints, skips for distance, single leg pogo hops. I'll give you every exercise you could ever imagine. You've got no excuse. We can do weight room work from day one, junior high, all the way to the professional level. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want this to be taken seriously. I want the world to look at the throws section, the throws athletes, the same way that Americans look at football players, the same way that, everybody looks at wrestlers or swimmers, or, how serious and intense these can be. I think currently in the world of throwing, we're not taken seriously because we don't take ourselves seriously. If you're a junior high coach, let's get these kids in the weight room. Let's get them stronger. Let's get them more explosive. Let's get them to have confidence. Let's get them to be more athletic. We can do it. Okay, so that's one thing that we do inside of our throws program. Okay, that's what we do inside of our Perfect Throws Season course. That's a 12-week course where we lay out exactly what you can do as a coach from the end of your season when you want to have your athletes hit a 5-foot PR, working all the way backwards to the beginning. We have a workout for every single day of that entire season, including what you need to be doing in the circle, what your progressions are, and even how you can peak. So click on the link down below. Head over to throwsuniversity.com. You can pick that up today. Now, again, when we're looking at groups in the weight room, okay, what we want to do is we want to think back to the beginning. We talked about assessments. We talked about planning. Okay, so if we assessed our athletes and we said, all right, well, this kid's been lifting for a while. This kid hasn't been lifting. They shouldn't be in the same group. Okay, one thing that I think is important, if you are privileged enough to have a gym that has, let's say, 3 platforms and you've got 3 squat racks and you've got 3 benches, try to put kids that are within 20 to 30 pounds of their PRs on one platform. Then the next one, they're in another group. And then the third one is, maybe a little bit weaker. That's just the way it is, right? And one thing that I've seen is that as kids get stronger, they can move to the next group. And it's something that is really cool, especially when an entire group gets stronger and they work hard and they feel strong and confident. Their weights can start to catch the other group's weights. Okay, so that's a big concept here, is that I would recommend at the most 4 athletes on a platform or 4 athletes on a squat rack or a bench at a given time, because it can be a long period. I also recommend always trying to do supersets. And a lot of people will say to me, well, why do you do supersets? Like, some studies show that supersets are better. Some studies show that supersets are equivalent to not doing a superset. Some studies show that they're not better at all. They're actually worse. Well, guess what? Time management is a big thing. And if I have a room filled with 20 high school kids and I want them to stay as focused as possible, I'm going to have a kid do a squat. I'm going to have a kid do a jump or some RDL work, and then they're going to rest for 2 minutes, and then they're going to lift again. We have to make sure the flow of the room is rolling really, really well, okay? Because that will enhance our gains. We want to enhance our gains. So when we're looking at that and we say, okay, let's try to get 4 people on a rack at a time, okay? And then if we have a case where, let's say we have 12 lifters here, what I like to try to do is try to have 12 lifters on a leg day, maybe 12 lifters on an upper body day, so that they're split up separately, and then we can sort of flip. Now, another big aspect there is that if we have too many athletes, let's say there's only 1 bench available and we have 6 kids benching, an issue that I would have there is it's going to get jammed up. So instead of having 6 kids bench, let's have 3 kids do bench and 3 kids do push-ups, or 3 kids do dips, or 3 kids do med ball bench, something like that on the floor. That enables us to break up some time. Another thing that I like to do is that if I get a consistent breakdown in our training, and let's say like the first period of our training where we're doing like a power clean or something like that, we're learning the progression, we're learning the technique. If we see a consistent breakdown and the room just falls apart and nothing's getting done, then I will control the rest periods. Okay, so then we'll go, okay, group 1 goes, go. They rest for a minute and a half. Group 2 goes, blow the whistle, go. I don't like doing that, but if we have a huge group, that does tend to be sometimes what needs to happen to sort of reel everyone back in. One aspect of being an intense coach and being super involved with the setting is that you have a sense and a feel for the flow. Okay, meaning it's like this thing, this abstract concept of like, this lift's not going that well, everything's sort of falling apart. And then there's sometimes you're like, oh, this lift is going really well, like let's keep building on this, right? So it's setting that up. Now, another thing that I like to do is just like with the throwing in the circle is that in the weight room, let's let them play their own music. Okay, if we establish those expectations, and if somebody hits a PR, maybe they get to play the music the next time. Play games like that, right? I like to do things along those lines to help manage the room. Another aspect that we can do is say, hey, John's got to hit this for 10. This guy's got to hit this weight for 10 as well. Let's see who wins this challenge. We come up with these challenges. We come up with these cool things. Okay, and that enables us to have the weight room be a fun place. Okay, so a lot of coaches will say to me, I can't get kids into the weight room. Kids these days don't want to work. No, coaches these days don't want to coach. That's the issue. It's not the kids who's at fault. It's the coaches. We need to be better. We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard. We need to be the ones that push the sport. We need to be the ones that get these kids to have a good work ethic. It's on us. And if we make the weight room fun and we make the circle fun, guess what they're going to do? They're going to want to keep training. They're going to love it because kids love to do work. Kids love to have positive affirmation. Kids love to see results. They like to see lifts posted on Instagram. And we can do all those things as coaches. We can video record as long as we have permission from the school and from their parents. We can record, send it to the parents. Hey, look what your son did. Look what your daughter did. She just, cleaned 100 pounds for the first time. Check it out. Post it on Facebook. Tag the grandmom. It's awesome. Those are all different things that we can do. Now, one of the other factors that I even like to bring up is how are they loading the barbell? Okay, because sometimes if we have a limit on weight, we need to make sure that they're actually loading the heaviest weight in the sense of don't put 3 10s on one side, just put a 35 on. Okay, don't put a 25 and a 35, put a 45 and a 10. Things along those lines will help with barbell loading. Another thing, add clips onto the bar for safety. Another aspect that I like is to try and prevent people from walking in front of platforms for the most part because of safety if we're doing cleans. Okay, if we're doing back squats, make sure that we have pins for safety as well. If we're doing dumbbell benches, we've got to try and spot from the wrists. I like spotting from the wrists instead of the elbows. If we're doing normal bench, again, make sure the clips are on and we have a spotter. All of those things are part of culture. Okay, so if we have that established, it's going to help build things out to be more successful. It's going to help build that culture, and it's going to help get these kids a lot stronger. If you need a 12-week course, if you want to become the best throws coach, head over to throwsuniversity.com. Pick up the perfect throws season today. Until next time, peace.